Welcome to the ASTRALX Deep Dive, illuminating your path. I'm Lunaria Celine, your intuitive guide.
And I'm Solarian Zephyr, your cosmic strategist. We bridge celestial wisdom,
To help unlock your modern path.
discovering guiding starlight insights and exploring powerful cosmic energies. How do planetary transits shape your story today?
Well, today we're diving deep into a specific document you shared with us. It's titled The Moonlit Mediator, a Libra Sun Man's 2025 Odyssey.
Right, and our mission, really, is to unpack what this source says. We want to pull out the key insights it offers.
And help you understand the framework it presents, specifically for someone with that Libra Sun Cancer rising profile looking at 2025.
Exactly. We're treating the document itself as our main subject here, exploring its unique language, its perspectives. It's quite a focused lens.
It sounds fascinating. So the document starts by outlining the core energies, right, for the specific profile.
It does. It talks about the blend. You've got the Libra Sun energy, which the source calls the harmonizing architect.
Okay, focused on balance, relationships, typical Libra themes.
Yes. And that meets the Cancer rousing energy, the lunar hearthkeeper, much more rooted in emotion, intuition, nurture.
The inner versus the outer presentation, in a way.
Kind of. And the source actually combines these. It coins a term, the sanctuary diplomat.
The sanctuary diplomat. I like that. It captures both sides.
It does. And what's really interesting from this document's viewpoint is how it describes the fusion. It's not just Libra and Cancer side by side.
Ah, so it's more than the sum of its parts. A transformation.
Precisely. The source suggests this union turns Libra's diplomacy into something it calls soul-treaties.
Soul-treaties, wow.
Yeah, and that classic Libran indecisiveness. Here it's reframed. It becomes prophetic care, like sensing the right path through that deep Cancerian feeling.
So intuition guiding the scales, essentially.
You got it.
Yeah.
And seeking harmony becomes building a healing refuge. The document uses some really evocative language like, your words broker peace. Your silence builds sacred spaces.
Your silence builds sacred spaces. That's beautiful. It gives weight to the Cancerian inwardness.
It really does. It's giving these placements a kind of elevated interpretation. It paints 2025 for this individual as a year where air and water merge.
Libra air, Cancer water.
Exactly. Where Libra's relational cosmos interfaces with Cancer's quantum ocean of feeling. The gist is, how this person relates to others is going to be deeply shaped by their emotional intelligence, according to the source.
Okay, that sets a really interesting stage. So beyond the core archetype, the document must get into specific astrological influences for 2025.
Oh, absolutely. It zeroes in on a few key things.
Yeah.
First up, Saturn in Pisces.
Saturn in Pisces, structure meets fluidity. Where does the source place it for this profile?
The seventh house, the house of partnerships.
Okay.
And the source gives this section a title, Karmic Gravity versus Quantum Fluidity.
Okay, karmic gravity, quantum fluidity. That sounds quite conceptual. What's the source getting at there? More metaphors?
Yes, very metaphorical, using almost scientific language.
Yeah.
It seems to suggest that relationships are shifting on a really fundamental level. The document talks about quantum decoherence dissolving codependent mirrors.
Quantum decoherence, so like old relationship patterns dissolving, the ways we just reflect each other unhealthily.
That seems to be the idea. And at the same time, there's this gravitational collapse forging soul contracts.
So a breakdown and a building up, a clearing away of the old to make space for the truly solid, destined connections.
Exactly. That's the dynamic the source presents. Saturn here isn't just about restriction. It's about dissolving illusions to reveal the essential structure underneath.
That's a deeper take on Saturn in the 7th. Does it offer any, practical ways to navigate this?
It does. It suggests a somatic anchor, paying attention to your body. Yeah. It says if you feel pressure in your shoulders during relational tension, that might be this energy manifesting physically.
Huh. Interesting. And what's the suggested action?
To physically roll your joints, maybe your shoulders or wrists, while affirming, I release burdens not mine to carry. It's trying to connect the cosmic, the emotional, and the physical.
That's very tangible. Okay, what else does the document highlight? Jupiter.
Yes. Jupiter in Cancer. The source places this in the 11th house, the house of collectives, groups, friends, future hopes.
Jupiter expanding things in Cancer's home sign? That feels like big nurturing energy in groups.
That's exactly how the source frames it. It calls this expansion mechanics, amplifying tribal belonging.
Growth and community connection, then.
Yes, but again, with a sort of quantum twist in the language. It talks about quantum entanglement, connecting personal nurturing with community healing.
So the idea is that your individual care ripples out and connects with the group's well-being and vice versa, like they're intertwined.
Precisely. It's suggesting Jupiter here creates this deep interconnectedness. Your personal acts of care become part of a larger constellation of community support.
That really resonates with the sanctuary diplomat idea, bringing that personal Cancer depth into the 11th house group dynamic, maybe smoothed over by Libra's touch.
I think so too. And for this, there's an embodiment practice suggested. Noticing warmth in the chest during group settings or rituals.
A physical sensation again.
Right. And placing your hand over your heart, affirming, my care creates constellations. It's about feeling that expansive connection physically.
My care creates constellations. Lovely. Okay, beyond these bigger transits, did the source mention more intense moments, eclipses maybe?
It did. It talks about an eclipse firestorm on the library's axis, which is highly relevant for this profile.
Ah, the relationship axis, and hitting the Libra Sun identity axis too, which eclipses.
Two key ones for 2025. First, the October 2nd Libra eclipse. The source places this in the first house of identity.
Right on the ascendant or close to it, impacting self-image and presentation.
Exactly. The source calls it identity recalibration. It says the public role gets reshaped by emotional truth.
So the Cancer rising's deep feelings demanding the outer Libra persona become more authentic, a push to be more real.
That's the core insight here, according to the document. It's not superficial. It's the inner emotional world forcing the external identity into alignment.
Intense in the second eclipse.
That's the March 29th Aries eclipse, landing in the 7th house of partnerships. The source labels this one a partnership purge.
A purge, okay.
Yeah, where toxic alliances are incinerated.
Wow. Incinerated is strong language. It suggests some relationships might face, well, quite a fiery end from this source's point of view.
It definitely frames it as an intense clearing process. The insight seems to be that these eclipses, hitting the 1st and 7th houses, create this powerful push-pull between self-discovery and relationship reality. What you feel inside must be reflected outside, especially with others.
And the source links this tension, this Libra harmony versus Cancerian truth, to a journal prompt.
Yes, directly related to these eclipses, it asks, what mask of harmony suffocates my tidal truth?
Ooh, that really gets to the heart of it for the sanctuary diplomat, doesn't it? When does keeping the peace stop serving your actual needs?
Exactly. It highlights that core challenge. Now, the source also brings in some historical figures to illustrate this archetype.
Who does it connect to this energy?
It mentions Mahatma Gandhi and Fred Rogers. For Gandhi, it points to his Libra sun and what it calls Cancerian empathy. The source says he weaponized harmonious resistance through deep emotional connection.
Weaponized harmonious resistance, that's quite a phrase. It reframes nonviolence as an active, emotionally potent force.
It does. And for Fred Rogers, it highlights his Libra grace and Cancer nurturance, saying he built sanctuaries of compassion through media diplomacy.
Creating safe spaces through communication. Very sanctuary diplomat.
Right. And the source suggests their shared legacy for this archetype shows that true peacemaking flows from protected vulnerability.
There's that phrase again, protected vulnerability. It seems central to this whole document.
Absolutely. It's a recurring theme. It's not about weakness, but about safeguarding your core so your diplomacy is authentic and strong, not just defensive.
That makes a lot of sense. Does the source use any, more modern cultural references?
It does, and they're quite creative. It imagines Atticus Finch from To Kill a Mockingbird, representing Libra justice, meeting the chef from Ratatouille, embodying Cancerian nurturance.
Huh. That's a great pairing. What does the source say that combination creates?
It calls it moral precision served with soul food, highlighting how clear principles, the Libra part, land better when delivered with that Cancerian care and intuition.
Justice with heart. I love that. Any others?
It also brings up Nick Carraway from The Great Gatsby, calls him a literary blueprint, a balanced observer holding emotional space for broken dreamers.
Ah, the Libra observer role combined with the Cancerian capacity to hold feeling.
Exactly. It sees that combination as a unique gift. It even suggests a kind of soundtrack.
Really? Like what?
Contrasting Bill Withers' Lean on Me, that sense of communal emotional support, very Cancerian maybe, with Max Richter's On the Nature of Daylight, which is more introspective, poignant, perhaps capturing deeper feelings.
So trying to capture the whole emotional range, this document seems really rich with these kinds of illustrative details.
It is, very layered. And it doesn't just stay conceptual. It offers tangible practices and looks toward potential future paths.
Okay, like the somatic anchor earlier. What other practices does it suggest?
It details interactive elements. One is an embodiment exercise called the tide balance breath.
Tide balance. Connecting the Cancer water and Libra air again? How does it work?
2 steps. First, you get into a fetal pose, hands on belly connecting to that Cancerian root.
Yeah.
Inhale for 4 seconds, affirming, I am rooted in feeling.
Grounding in the emotion. Okay.
Then step 2, you rise up into a dancer pose embodying Libran grace and balance. You exhale for 6 seconds, affirming, I harmonize with grace.
Moving from inner feeling to outer expression. When does the source suggest using this?
Before difficult conversations or maybe during family stress, times when you need both that inner stability and outer poise.
Makes sense. Any rituals mentioned?
Yes, a specific ritual blueprint for the Cancer new moon on July 4th.
What does that involve?
You need a silver bowl, some moon water, and 2 rose quartz stones. The steps are, hold the quartz over your heart, affirming, I am safe in vulnerability.
Connecting to self-love and safety.
Then submerge the stones in the moon water, saying, my boundaries make space for beauty.
Oh, I like that phrase. Boundaries enabling beauty, not just restricting, ties back to protected vulnerability, creating harmony.
Exactly. And the final step is drinking the charged water at dawn. It's a symbolic enactment, as the source presents it, of integrating inner safety and healthy boundaries to create something balanced and beautiful.
Powerful symbolism. Did it offer another journal prompt?
It did. Kind of deepening the first one. It asks, where does my Libran fairness override my Cancerian boundaries? How can my emotional depth become my greatest diplomatic asset?
That really pushes you to examine where you might be sacrificing your own needs for external peace and how to flip that perceived vulnerability, the emotional depth, into a strength.
Yes, exactly. Seeing the emotion not as a problem for diplomacy, but as the source of its power. And then the document looks ahead, outlining 3 potential future timelines for 2025.
Potential paths based on the transits, like what?
First, linked to Jupiter in the 11th is the community patriarch.
Okay, that sounds very 11th house Cancer. What's the idea?
The trigger might be something like founding community centers, haven and harmony centers, it calls them. Manifestations could be restorative justice cafes or maybe intergenerational trauma workshops.
Using that nurturing energy for broad community healing. Any challenges noted?
Yes, emotional burnout is listed as a potential challenge, with salt baths suggested as a remedy, a reminder about self-care and that kind of work.
Important. What's the second timeline?
The relational alchemist. This one connects more to Saturn in the 7th. The trigger is described as transforming a business partnership into a therapeutic enterprise.
Interesting, like a business focused on healing relationships.
Sort of. The source imagines maybe a sanctuary diplomat LLC, offering conflict resolution using somatic astrology and shared meals. The alchemy part is about turning legal contracts into sacred covenants.
Bringing that soul treaty idea into formal agreements, that's a really unique application.
Isn't it? And the third timeline is the eclipse heir, linked to that October Libra eclipse in the 1st house.
The identity shift, what's the trigger here?
Inheriting ancestral property during a family crisis. So big personal change intertwined with family stuff.
That sounds challenging. How might it manifest?
The source suggests converting the inherited home into the Moonlit Mediator's Lodge, a retreat space for weary peacemakers. And it cheekily notes the weapon here is Libra Rising's charm, disarming feuding relatives.
Using that natural grace as a tool in family conflict. These timelines really paint vivid pictures, don't they? They show how this energy could play out very differently.
They really do. And the source tries to capture the essence of all this potential in a specific mantra for the year.
Oh, a mantra. What is it?
I harmonize the seen and unseen. My scales weigh starlight. My intuition maps the tides. Where hearts collide, I build bridges of moonlit grace.
My scales weigh starlight. My intuition maps the tides. Wow, that perfectly blends the Libra and Cancer imagery, the logical and the intuitive.
It really encapsulates that fusion the document describes, and it leads into the source's final concluding thought called the year's invitation.
What's the invitation?
It's an invitation to navigate the soul tides, Sanctuary Diplomat. It frames 2025 as gifting Saturn's compass for relational oceans and Jupiter's bounty for communal healing.
Using those transits as tools.
Yes, encouraging the harmonizing architect, Libra, to design equitable beauty, and the lunar hearthkeeper, Cancer, to feel the undercurrents before they surface.
Tuning into that intuition.
Right. And it circles back one last time to that core theme. This is your year to prove that true balance flows from protected vulnerability, nurturing justice like a sacred garden.
Nurturing justice, like tending something precious.
Exactly. It even closes with a few poetic lines. Libra seeks the symmetry in human designs. Cancer feels the moon pull in family lines. You title mediator with a diplomat's art, Turn relational fractures to symphonies of the heart.
Turn relational fractures to symphonies of the heart. A beautiful summary of the potential it sees. Wait, wasn't there one more cultural reference? Paddington Bear.
Ah, yes. Good catch. The cultural ritual metaphor. The source compares the energy blend to Paddington, that inherent Libran politeness mixed with fierce Cancerian protective loyalty.
And that's surprisingly apt, and it suggested a ritual with that.
Marmalade mediations. The idea is to serve tea with citrus preserves during conflict resolution,
Okay. Why marmalade?
using the sweet-bitter taste as a metaphor for the complexity of disagreements. The insight is the Cancer rising senses, the unspoken tensions, like the subtle flavors, while the Libra Sun provides the structure, the politeness, the tea ceremony almost, to address them harmoniously.
Using a comforting ritual to navigate difficult talks. That's clever.
It's another example of how the source blends the intuitive and the structured.
So wrapping this all up, this document, The Moonlit Mediator, offers a really unique, deeply layered, and often quite metaphorical perspective on 2025 for a Libra Sun, Cancer rising person.
Absolutely. It presents a specific map, potential challenges, unique ways of thinking about things like soul-treaties or quantum fluidity, and even those hands-on practices like the breathwork and rituals.
So for you, the listener, this is one specific interpretation. It's a rich tapestry from this particular source, woven with astrology, poetry, and practical suggestions, a framework to explore.
Definitely just one framework. But it leads us to a final provocative thought, pulling from that core message we kept seeing.
Right. The source hammers home this idea that true balance flows from protected vulnerability, and true peacemaking flows from protected vulnerability.
It really positions vulnerability when consciously held and protected, not as weakness, but as the actual foundation for genuine connection and peace.
So, thinking about that, if vulnerability is framed as such a key strength in this source's view, the question for you becomes, where in your own life might you be mistaking guardedness, maybe being overly defensive, for strength?
And in doing so, perhaps missing opportunities. Opportunities to build deeper connections or to find a more authentic, truly rooted kind of balance for yourself.
Something to reflect on, definitely inspired by this deep dive into the document's core message.
A question to carry with you.
As our cosmic journey concludes, dive deeper into your unique path. Request your email audio reading now. Find the link in the description below.
And explore episode resources and links, perhaps more info on the source document we explored today. All details are waiting for you there.
Ignite. Think. Become.
Subscribe for more Starlight Insights. Thank you so much for joining us.